All right, welcome back to another episode of the Food Explorer Podcast. I am here with a great guest today, but before I mention who he is, please share on social media, like us, tell all your friends about the podcast, the show, everything, for your chance to win a beautiful tin of Trey Olive oil. But now, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, a guy who is like a restaurant guru in the area. He owns the Delaney House, Log Cabin, D Hotel and Spa, 7 Big E locations. He's bringing on board the new and improved Schermerhorns, and my favorite accomplishment that he's ever had, the inventor of the turducken sandwich at the Big E, Mick Corduff, the man.
Hello, Bill.
So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. Super excited.
Was that lead up good enough for you?
That was good. Yeah, that was pretty good. I feel so. I'm levitating over here.
No, it's always awesome to hang out and catch up, and so much respect goes to you for what you've accomplished. And
Thank you.
Honestly, and I know how hard it is in this business, and it's always great to pick your brain and be in a room with you.
Likewise. I mean, we've been around this neck of the woods for a good few years. We've known each other well, and we know the ins and outs of what goes on, but the work behind the scenes that nobody else sees, it's nice to feel a little bit of the reaps of the rewards these days. We've had, with COVID and everything else, the past few years, we've had some horrific wars in our business, and it's nice to, be able to take a little bit of time these days and just reflect and bring things back to the business and re-energize things. And
absolutely,
it's just been
that is one thing that you mentioned where it's like maybe it's not the best thing to start a food and travel television show where everybody you're documented where you are when you are. You can't really lie and be like, oh, I was in the dining room that night. They're like, no, you were in St. Martin. Maybe it's not the best thing, but I do always remind people that the best way for me to bring excitement to the plates is to go out and try plates in other places so I can bring the experience back home.
Absolutely. I see different, cooking styles, techniques, herbs, spices, everything. Yeah. Even locally, what people are doing, farm to table and stuff like that. It was a hot trend for a while, but, it's continuously changing, constantly moving. So,
well, before we get to the current and what's happening in the biz, tell me how it started.
Oh boy.
So
I thought you said you only had an hour here.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have as much time as you'll give us, but I know it's an interesting story.
I mean, I'll give you the 40,000 feet version of it. It's so born and bred in Ireland in a little village, Ballyferther, about 6 miles outside of Dingle, which I know you have a soft spot for. And a lot of mainly farming, tourism, and fishing. So I had my choices were one of the three, and we had a bed and breakfast in the house, and we did some farming. So I started working in pubs and restaurants at a very, very young age, somewhere around 11. Had my first official job in one of the local hotels, and I think it was in the blood right away. Just fell in love with it. The people, the atmosphere, the hustle, the bustle.
I feel like there were no child labor laws in effect when we were all coming up because anybody I talk to is like, I started at 12, but it's like
I know. The chores were a little different back then too. So I think my kids today had it very easily. Was go to the cow house with a shovel, and then go to the pub and work until whatever the wee hours of the morning. So labor laws were not in effect for sure. I know they're somewhat more. I'd say strict nowadays. But I started working at the hotels, and I was mainly on the service side, and then as I got a little older, I fell in love with the kitchen side of things, and then I moved to the States in '89, started working for the Marriott Group, and just went up through the ranks with them, and in 95 or so I started my own catering gig on the side, and that was getting a little too big to be the chef at the Marriott, so they weren't too happy with me. So looked around and interviewed at a few country clubs locally, and because it was like a 9-month season, seemed to fit what my catering stuff was doing, and met with Larry Peralt and Peter Roscothan, who at the time were re-energizing the Log Cabin from a restaurant to a banquet facility, and got that job, and kind of the rest is history there. So from 97 to today, it feels like yesterday.
It's awesome.
You know, a lot of lessons learned from there to then, but it was it's been an amazing experience. And you know, the business has adapted and changed and grown, and you know, today
it's been
with
a big
everything,
change.
we've had a lot of big changes. Yeah.
I mean, you along with another partner bought Peter out recently, right? And
Yeah,
so you have a whole new structure.
Probably almost 3 years ago now. So it was kind of funny. I mean, Frank, my partner, was looking to do something else and came to me to see if I'd go with him, not realizing the relationship or the size or the magnitude of what we had going on. And one thing led to another, and we ended up putting our heads together and buying Peter out. And so, you know, that was, I think it was just short of 3 years ago, but
That's awesome. And then your wife took over like the hotel,
yeah,
right?
so Peter's wife ran the hotel.
Yeah.
And so it was just a natural for my wife to slide in there and do the same. And she's loving every minute of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's got the spa in there seems to be her diamond in the rough. But the hotel's doing awesome. We had a major renovation the last year.
It's awesome.
Spent a lot of money with the help of Sage Engineering, Frank's crews. We were able to get it done in a timely fashion, but the hotel's looking awesome. And
It's a great thing to have on the property, though, because like, just I think the possibilities are endless. You know, it's
it's that one-stop shop mentality from a catering perspective. If you're getting married, you know, you can get married at the log cabin, stay at the hotel.
Absolutely.
Do the rehearsal dinner,
And
do
then
the
you've got
brunch
the
after.
spa for,
Spa
it's
for
incredible.
the guys and the girls.
Yeah.
Everyone always says it's for the girls, but any friend of mine that goes, it's, you know, I had one a couple of months ago, and the girl was exhausted because I don't get them often enough, and the stress, I guess, in my shoulders was a lot. Yeah.
By the way, did you bring any like those free massage coupons or anything that you were talking about?
They'll be in your email.
No, I got to come down and check it out. I mean, I think that's such a unique business. And so, I mean, I just don't know how you spend all the hours figuring all this stuff out, but you're setting it on fire.
The spa business, it's a unique character as well. It's a business of its own completely. You know, the customer base is a lot of female customer base. Dana, my wife, loves that side of it, so I kind of just let her do her thing. And just when it comes to the business side of it, that's when the pencil gets sharpened. And you know, the old noose of labor and food costs for a chef never goes away. Even on the spa side of things, it's all about the labor.
What do you mean you're spending this much on massage oil?
How many massage beds do you need this month? Yeah, no. That
awesome.
Supplies line gets a little like how much CBD oil are we using on these massages? So no, but it's really interesting. They just came back from a show in New York, and some of the stuff they were talking about is just, you know, exciting growth and learning. And there's all these different techniques that are out there right now, you know, as far as like cancer treatment to, you know,
so like wellness,
wellness in general. And it's a market that's, you know, forever exploding. Everybody's, you know, I think if you go online, it's either a diet, you know, or what have you, or biohacking is, you know, the new thing. And we have this amazing drug that makes everyone lose a ton of weight. And
I know, Kate, I've been on it. No.
You and me both. But now there's, you know, menus coming out there for that. So, you know, the world of catering to people, or the service world, is continuously adapting to things. And
maybe we have to come up with like an Ozempic menu.
Oh, there is.
There's just like
you'll love it. The food cost is 5%.
Same cost as a normal dinner. Yeah, it's just
$27.95 for one meatball, half ounce.
Yeah,
coming to a store near you.
So with this whole change with Frank, is Frank working in the business, or he's more on like, you know, maintaining the properties? And
yeah, I mean, Frank's got a lot of businesses going on too. I mean, he's there if I ever need him, but for the most part, it's like support from a maintenance and you know, that side of things. That's his specialty.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of projects going on. He just finished that.
He does the Roots Athletics, right?
Roots Athletics is his.
My kids are signed up playing soccer there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he does it. You know, he's, you know, nearing the finish line for Schermerhorns on the construction side of things.
Awesome.
It's been an ever-going project. Yeah, no, kudos to him. I mean, that's, I ask him why does he keep doing what he's doing. He just loves to build the same way I love to be around people and put out a great meal. There's nothing more rewarding.
So with the Schermerhorns, for so many years, it was, what it was, a little fish market.
Yep.
They even had like a little liquor package store thing going on, and then the restaurant. And when I went there the last time, I looked at the pricing, and to get like a boiled lobster dinner was like $11.95, and I'm like, how the hell are they doing that?
Yeah.
And so what's the new concept going into Sherman?
So the new concept, believe it or not, is going to be almost identical.
Really?
The big change is that there's a full restaurant, full bar on the other side.
Oh,
so
great.
Before it was beer and wine, which, not a lot of sales on the beer and wine side of things. But right now, I just left there an hour ago. The countertops are being ordered and the tables are being finished. So we're nearing the finish line.
It's awesome.
But it'll have a package store side.
Okay.
Then it has the fish market.
Yeah.
Full bar restaurant, and then we're really excited about ice cream.
Really?
The ice cream window isn't there anymore. The ice cream component had to move in just for the reconfiguration of the building. It's the same exact space, but just the way the flow worked. The ice cream's moving inside, and we're going to be making our own ice cream.
I love it.
A small batch, and excited about that. That's not too far off, but we'll be ready by the time we have to scoop in
I don't know
4
how
or
you
5
do
weeks.
it, bro. I just don't know how you do it. I'm thinking about like if I were just adding the ice cream component to like Center Square, what the lift would be. And I'm like, you're running Delaney House, Log Cabin, the Big E, and now you're adding this new ice cream. Like, it's where are the hours coming from?
I know you know the answer, but the answer is people, right? I'm surrounded by a phenomenal staff, a great crew, and I know I would do anything for them, and they would do anything for me. And it's a family business at the end of the day. It's a big business, but each entity is kind of its own little mini family. Like Delaney House is a tight-knit group of guys on the line. The Log Cabin has a tight-knit group of chefs that are there. The caterers that go on the road is a unique breed as well.
Yeah, those crazy guys.
Yeah. I mean,
carnies of the food industry.
We lift ovens, and you carry a kitchen here, then you cook, and you carry the kitchen back, right? So but it's all about the people, and just continuously trying to train and grow the team and keep a culture that is, all about doing the next right thing and great service, great food.
It's awesome.
Period. Full stop.
So now I think you kind of answered it a little bit, but really like at the heart of your passion for this business, like what's your favorite thing to do? Like you're wearing a hat that's like, basically CEO, CFO, you're dealing with running the operations. You've got a whole bunch of people reporting to you, but what still about the business really does it for you?
I always get asked, you're never going to cook again, right? Now you're the clipboard guy, you're the guy in the office, but I spend a lot of time on the line at the Delaney House, which I love being back there with the boys and cranking it out. And I don't think I'll ever lose that. The only thing I am losing is my eyesight. So guys got to read me the tickets. So my memory is still pretty good, but the glasses off and on, I haven't quite mastered yet because it's a new thing for me.
I'm not going to lie. It's happening to me too, dude. Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
The new recent thing for me with it is like, I'm taking them off because now I'm realizing I need bifocals. I'm like, dude, what is it going on?
It's awful.
No.
And like on the line, and there's oil splashing everywhere. I need little mini windshield wipers on there.
You need work glasses and non-work glasses.
I need goggles with a full-on spray. I might wear my son's hockey helmet and try it out.
Yeah.
See
there you go. There you go. I like
knows?
it.
That could work. I'm not sure.
Now we're seeing guys, kind of rounding home plate, and they've got these contraptions on the ceiling. That's like a harness you sit in because
I've seen
the hips
that.
and knees are gone, and you're bending down, and I'm like, dude, please tell me you're not thinking about installing one of those at some point. Just
I need a harness, I'm out. I've
pay the
always,
bills.
I've always said it. The day it's not fun, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, there you
right.
go.
So if I need a harness on the line,
never know, it might be
can't
fun.
It's not Riverside or Six Flags. No, honestly, I always have a lot of fun on the floor in the kitchens. I do love meeting people out there. I see, been at the log cabin since '97. We're doing weddings and showers for people whose weddings I did 25 years ago, and now I'm doing the kids. And it's just amazing to see, the families, the peoples who we touch in so many different ways, and we just, St. Patrick's, we just did that. And,
that's got to be huge.
The effect on the community and the involvement and what it brings to the Valley. I don't know that I always appreciated those types of events. To me, that was just, the Irish weekend, blah, 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 and tour lura. But the effect it has in the Valley itself is amazing. The amount of money generated, the amount of,
It's good for so many businesses, not just yours. Yeah. And
I tried getting a hotel room. I mean, it's not going to happen.
What about, can I...
we could hook you up. Yeah. There's always a resi. No,
something tells me if I'm hanging out with you during St. Patrick's Day in Holyoke, I might opt to stay.
You might need a harness.
Yeah. Only if you put me to work, baby.
Beep harnesses.
So as you know, we took the show on the road, and we flew into your hometown area, the Dingle Peninsula, the motherland. And I remember the first time you were on the show was at the Big E. We did a Big E episode, and you said there's only two kingdoms of heaven, right? Or what was it saying?
There's only two kingdoms.
Yeah,
the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of Kerry.
That's right. But I went there, and I get it.
Yeah.
I was moved by the experience going there this time because just the way that the people are. The way they work together, it's can be rough conditions there, and the business just like falls out in the winter. It goes away
100%. Yeah.
And these people work their butts off to put people in seats, and they're doing different festivals, and it was such a pleasure to film there and go meet the people. I got to meet your brother JJ. I got to play Gaelic football. His son kicked my you're gonna have to give that one a little beep as well. This kid out of nowhere, I'm literally the first time I'm thinking I'm getting the hang of it, I grab the ball and I'm about to kick it, and out of nowhere I get bumped. The ball gets slapped, and he goes,
"It was a fair
not
shoulder,
in my house."
I heard it was a fair shoulder.
Oh yeah, well that was one of them. I wound up on the ground a couple times, but and then. I'm taking a selfie in your mom's living room because you gave me two instructions. You said, when you go over, bring JJ some Guinness and bring my mother flowers. Mission accomplished, baby. Did it. But I got to see your homeland, and it was amazing.
She loved having the visitors. Yeah, she always does.
Well, she was, you could tell you ran a bed and breakfast at one point because she's like, I think we were there at like 6, and she's like, well, what can I get you? Can I get you a cup of coffee? Can I get you a glass of wine?
That kettle never stops.
Oh, yeah. I could tell. And she was like, I got there and she was like dressed up to just be like watching TV in the house, she was expecting guests.
She has more outfits. We call her the Jackie O of West Kerry. She can't go buy a shop. It's kind of like the Corduff brothers. We couldn't go buy a pub, she can't go buy a shop when it comes to clothes. So
I got a selfie in my phone that I'm saving for when you're tired at the Big E of me in your living room with your family picture, Just send it over for a little moral support, No, but I am wondering.
Yeah.
Can we set up a time to go?
Yeah.
We want to take the show back. We're talking to Caroline. Yeah. We want to go back. We'll probably be filming in a little bit of a different area. But man, I'd love to overlap for a day with you there and just see through your eyes.
As you know, like within an earshot of Dingle, there's a lot of activity going on.
Oh yeah.
And you got all the seafood along the coastline. How much fresher can you get? From Killarglen all the way up. Oh yeah, John Dory, all of it. And it's just so fresh. You know? As fresh as you can get.
The oysters for me were interesting. They were very different flavor profile from what we deal with here.
Yeah.
And the water there is cold.
Colder,
but they really had this really briny, salty.
Brine,
they were incredible.
Yeah.
But all the food coming out of that region, I mean, my experience at Dingle Goat Cheese.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I could get the stuff here.
You're talking about food, and I know you didn't wander over to the distillery either for a little drop-in of anything.
Oh, the distillery happened. No, can I give a behind the scenes of what actually happened at the distillery? Can I give a little tease here? This is the podcast, so this is a funny story, and nobody really knows this. I hope I don't get in trouble for telling this story, but I gotta tell you what happened. So we get the whole wind up about it, and I had tried the stuff at the Big E at your bar, right? Sure. Which I loved. It was fantastic stuff. So we're filming, and we're in the tasting room, right, with the other Foley there who's running the place, and he pours the gin, which is like, the spirit that the whole place is built on, because as you know, the whiskey, it takes time to age, and you got to lay it down. So I'm not a big gin drinker to begin. It's not my favorite spirit. I do like it, but I'm like, no problem. We'll taste it.
You make it, bro.
Yeah. So the best thing in the world happened. So he pours out of this gin bottle. It's ice cold, and I smell it. I'm like, interesting. It doesn't really have much of a nose on it. And then I taste it, and I'm like, wow, that's the most delicious gin I've ever had. Nobody knows. I was drinking water. He pulled the wrong bottle out of the fridge. It was like the water for the guests of the tasting. So I got to try the gin afterwards, and it was delicious because he's giving me the whole lead up by the still, like, everything they put into it, and the secret concoction of
the water running down Mount Brandon.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I'm excited to try this gin. And I'm like, well, that's not the smoothest gin I've ever had. I'm like, wait, I could get drunk from drinking this? Like, bring me another.
That could be dangerous.
No, the distillery was awesome, and that was like walking distance to where I stayed. Yeah. It's like,
it's just a hop, skip, and a jump out the road for sure.
Whole place is amazing, and thank you for the contacts over there. You were
Caroline's
instrumental.
Doing a great job with that whole sister city relationship, and
she's meant for it.
That community that she's built between West Springfield, and that whole area is great.
She is meant for tourism. I mean, the hard work that she put into that episode. We've never worked with somebody that has worked that hard.
Took a chip off the Blarney Stone, and it's under her pillow every night.
Yeah. She's you got to be careful about that, I hear. Yeah, I want to sanitize that first. But no, she's a sweetheart, and it was funny because on the last shoot, I could tell in her eyes, she we hit our rhythm, we hit our stride. In the last shoot, she was kind of like, well, I guess we're wrapping up now. It was tough. We had our one last dinner together, and we were all sad.
It's the love-hate of the Big E. When she's leaving, when they arrive, they're full of energy, 3 or 4, 17, 18-hour days in, they're exhausted. But then when it's time to go back, there's the crocodile tear coming down the side.
No, it is for us, too. It's like the Big E is weird because, you spend a lot of time setting it up.
Oh, my God.
To just pound for 17 days, man. Yeah. And by day 14, the reality starts happening that it's almost over. Yeah. And
couple more.
you're on this adrenaline rush though, where as a business owner, the numbers you do are crazy. Yeah. And you don't want it to stop for one portion. I think the other part of you is like, okay,
give me one rain day.
I could use a day at the D spa,
give me one rain day.
But
I mean, the thing with the Big E for me is it's just always such a busy time of year in general.
Oh yeah.
The leaf peepers start rolling through. Wedding season is in full bloom, if you would.
You were going to cater. John Lavoie's
John's daughter's wedding in his backyard. What a day they got. Oh my God.
And I didn't even know, but we were doing the rehearsal dinner for them. I didn't know it was for them. He's like, hey, you're doing the rehearsal dinner. I was like, oh God, you're putting that pressure on me. I'm like, I had no idea it was for him. I didn't know because it was under the other family's last name.
My God.
And so I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, honey, you got to watch the shop here. I got to go make sure our pencils are really sharp.
It wasn't an easy drive-by. That was all the way out in Wilbraham. Actually, right around the corner from here, probably somewhere, wherever I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now let me ask you, looking at the business from 30,000 feet, all the balls you have in the air.
Yep.
Are you still hungry for more? What's next for you? Are you thinking about still expanding the brand, or have you hit your sweet spot? Are you not going to know until after Schermerhorns?
I think for me, it's probably as close to the sweet spot as I can get. But again, I think at the end of the day, it's relationships for me. So if something comes along and somebody's, in the right place at the right time, I think that's happened to me a lot over the last 30 years.
Sure.
Do I see it happening again? probably not. But you never know. I mean,
You never know.
Schermerhorns, I'm very excited for. It's seafood driven, but the mix of that market is something totally different. So we'll be going to Boston on the daily, hitting the docks. We're not going to be selling to restaurants right out of the gate, but that's an avenue I've never explored.
Absolutely. Imagine the doors it opens up just for your current restaurants. I mean, incredible.
Yeah, I think it gives us a ton of opportunity and baby steps when it comes to that. You can come out of the gate sprinting and hurt yourself in the long run. So, keep it nice and tight. Do what we do and do it well is kind of the message.
Yep.
Got some new players coming on the team over there. Jay and Laura will be doing the front, and I got a guy, Scott, who's been with me for over a year and a half now, that's going to be taking over on the back of the house operation.
Love it.
So, again, growth from within is important.
Absolutely.
So we got some crossover happening, some line guys that want to go try a different areas. So Delaney will feel a little pinch, and then the log cabin will feel a little pinch, and then
but
every
it gives a
department
little
has to grow.
space for the
it's
new
growth,
people to
it's
come up.
everything,
And,
yeah.
Well, I have to tell you that I'm always so appreciative of the time, because I know, especially with all you got going on, it takes time to come out here, meet with us, and it's got to start with a half-hour of banter before we even get any work done. So thank you for carving out the time.
I appreciate the
I'm
info.
flattered all the time when you do. And before we wrap up, please let everybody know, where do we find you on the internet? Are we looking Facebook, Instagram? What's your website? Let's promote. I mean, go to his places a lot. Still come to mine, but really, there couldn't be a better gentleman in the business.
No, I appreciate it.
To support other than me. I mean, other than Mick.
Honestly, I wish I could get out to your spot more often, but I try to make it out a couple of times.
You
a year.
do. You do.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
always. And there's plenty. I think competition's always good.
It's
and it
raises everybody's game.
Exactly.
It's fun.
It's fun, and at a local level, there's a handful of us that are doing what we do at the level that we do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we get together, we talk about it, and figure out what's working. The chains of the world will try like hell to crush us.
Yep.
And some of their deals are truly deals, but God only knows what you're eating. The quality of it. So, keep doing what we're doing. Deliver quality in the valley to our customer base that's probably within 15 miles of us at the end of the day. And there's plenty of people around to come see us. So they can go to the Delaney house or the log cabin. Log cabin really only does events for the most part. We are open for Easter and Mother's Day and Thanksgiving, but logcabin-delaney.com.
There it is.
There it is. Come see us. And Schermerhorns, hopefully within the next 6 weeks or so, depending on the airing time here. And we're super excited for that, obviously. I'm excited about everything I do. That's what gets me out of the bed in the morning. Some days takes a little while to stand up. But
trust me, I've been there.
Whatever about the glasses.
the only ask I have for you before we turn these cameras off is when you send the email with the massage gift cards, just let me know the opening party date at Schermerhorn so I can bring a bottle of champagne and say congrats. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Food Explorer podcast. Make sure you check us out every time a new episode drops. Find us at thefoodexplorer.us.